You are back to Chagwe TV, and we are having Counsel Denis Nyombi on set. He's giving us a lawyer's perspective on a number of issues. So right now we are to tackle the extrajudicial killings. We've just seen police or security operatives killing Sheikh Kirevu, and the police comes out and say he was trying to fight the security circles that were arresting him. So when is police supposed to kill, or is police supposed to kill suspects?
That's the situation itself is disturbing, and it's non-imaginable. One, we have the story of Julius Caesar. We are told that Julius Caesar one time was informed that, you see, your wife is having a sexual affair with one of your close men. Caesar was doubtful, but nevertheless gave the rumor a chance, and he inquired and investigated and asked friends, and indeed at the end of the day he found that it's not true that his wife was having a sexual affair with another man. But Caesar said, be that as it may, the mere fact that you are suspected in itself makes you cease to be Caesar's wife. It's what we are seeing here. You should not be a suspect. Mere being a suspect warrants you death. Where do I derive this? I listened to Mr. Museveni in his last address, and he said ably that, you see, these people were suspects. If they weren't suspects, why did their names appear in the killings of General Katumba's daughter? Why did their names appear in the nuclear areas of ADF in Congo? What came to my mind was Jamil Mukulu is facing the trial at the War Crimes Division of the High Court. Why wasn't Jamil Mukulu killed as soon as he was arrested? Because remember, Jamil Mukulu, I think was arrested in Tanzania, then was later brought to Uganda, so died to Uganda. Why wasn't Jamil Mukulu killed? It becomes hard to convince myself, and I want to believe some other person out there, when police argues, like police argued during the arrest of some of the suspects in the killing of General Katumba's daughter and the attempted killing of General Katumba himself, that the suspects were resistant and turning out to attack the police. If you have seen these crime scenes and the magnitude of ammunition that the security forces have, I will not say police, but I will say security forces, because you have the military, you have the police, you have the judge, etc. It's not logically possible that a man found in a house can confront over 20 people, each one with a rifle, to the extent that the only disablement to him is to shoot him dead. It doesn't add up. There was a time Kizza Besigye was moving, I think, along Kamocha Wanege Road. You remember that scenario? He locked himself in the car together with the driver. And in the pursuit of getting him out of that car, the glass was broken. Hit with a pistol. Remember that police officer?
All right.
Bwana Anthony?
Yes, Bwana. Alinaitwe.
Alinaitwe Bwana. Thank you. With a pistol, hit the window screen, broke it, enabled pepper spray on Besige's face. You want to convince me it was easy to get pepper spray on Kizza Besigye then, but it's hard for a suspect who has been found in a house. The only vice you have is to shoot him dead, not even shooting the legs. Because by the time security persons go through that training, they are trained how to shoot. They are good in targets.
And where to shoot.
And where to shoot. They are alive to the fact that if I shot part A of the body, you will not die, but you'll be disabled. And they know which parts to shoot, and you'll die spot on. So logically, it ceases to make substantive sense and reason that these persons were resisting an arrest. It doesn't add.
Yes,
it is basically a well-driven intention and motive. But let me also make this point before you ask another question. The last killing we got is that these were suspects attached to the ADF. Let me pick this point. I'm going to pick 3 points, but let me start with this one. Okay. The information we are having from the police is that these are suicide bombers. The information we are getting from the Minister of Security is to the effect that these people are indicted. They are brought into this act of becoming suicide bombers. Actually, by the time someone becomes a suicide bomber, death to him or her is a privilege, not a worry. He is willing to die. You know? Someone carries a backpack, it's got a bomb within, moves to the crowd, detonates the bomb, it blasts, and that's what the person is trained. That's how the person's brain has been made to think, to reason, and to resolve. Now, shooting him does not occasion pain to him. Because to him, dying in this mission makes sense. I don't know whether we're on the same page. Right. So, if you kill this person who you say is a member of the ADF, you are helping him to pursue his mission, only that he has not died with a bomb and killing so many people. So for so long as this act goes on, it leaves so much in question. Point number 2, we pick from that, extrajudicial killing. For so long as the extrajudicial killings are still ongoing, you are incapable then of critiquing mob justice. Because this is, in a way or the other, an act of mob justice. Why we go against mob justice and why we sensitize the public not to handle the law in their hands is that we have a judicial system. And when the police, through the community liaison officers, go out to the public to talk to them, they tell them that a person or a suspect is innocent until proven guilty. We make the people down there take that as the position of the law, as the principle. But now here we are. We have a suspect, and then the state machinery terminates his life there and then. Now, how do you convince people who have gotten a thief in the village that it's bad to kill a person minus taking them to police, minus subjecting them to a trial? It doesn't communicate. It can't be a message coming from the same persons. Point number 3. For so long as such killings subsist, you cannot have a judicial system grow. You cannot have institutes grow. You don't have confidence. That's why there are courts of law to try all cases, irrespective of the magnitude. They have jurisdictions. There are those that will try lighter offenses, and then there are others that will try bigger offenses. Now, you deny an institute that's established by the law to do its work. Now, how do you expect the system to grow? So these are some of the observations I have in regard to those killings.
Yes,
they are illegal. You cease to have a point of account that you can use to justify these acts.
Yes, we've got a number of scenarios just of recent, apart from Sheikh Kirevu.
That's true.
We had Zebra Senyange Mando, who was shot during the peak of the campaigns, the presidential campaigns.
That's true.
The president came out and said he knew the people who had shot him dead.
True.
So we waited for justice to prevail, but to date, nothing has come out.
That's true.
We had the Sechirime case, the Honorable Ida Nantaba's case.
That's true.
When Sechirime was shot and on handcuffs. But of recent, the suspect was convicted, I think was sentenced to 20 years in prison. So the other case, the president said he knew, we thought that he was going to maybe go into the talk to the investigating officers and have those people who killed, who murdered Senyange Zebra brought to book.
It's hard. You don't expect that. It's hard.
So,
why? If you listened to Mr. Museveni in his last speech, he said when the police was, the acts of the terrorists woke up the police, which was asleep. So, Mr. Museveni also urges, and it says, he makes an able point that he's the head of security, he's in charge, he's the one who prefectures security. So all these acts that you're talking about, for instance, the killing of Zebra Mando, the killing of Sheikh Kirevu, he's very alive to them. He told you that, you see, I feed on security reports and details. He's alive to them. And being alive to them, he finds it appropriate for the status quo to be as that. I don't know whether you get my point. Right. So, for so long as he's okay with that, this will subsist. And don't think this is the last time. You will again have the same news sometime to come. So, these are the challenges that we have. It's a suffocation of institutes, an abridgment of individualistic approach. Are we moving on the same footing?
Right.
So, it's rather challenging. We critique it, it's bad, it's not the appropriate approach, it's not the legit thing to do, but it's not coming from the police per se. No. By the way, this time around, he who did the act, let's say the police shooting, is in itself wrong. But where did the police get the directives, the orders? That's where we need to rest our argument. You know? And it's not only in these killings, in so many things. In so many things in our country. we see an invisible arm, an invisible degree of impunity, an intended approach to putting aside the legit way something ought to be done and doing it otherwise.
Still on Sheikh Kirevu's case, we had police after killing the Sheikh, instead of leaving the wife to grieve, she was arrested, and right now I don't know whether even the relatives have accessed her. So should we say that when your husband commits an offense, you are liable to that offense?
Not really. Not really. A liability to one offense is individualistic to the person who is accused. That's why, for instance, you are asking a question about police bond. If I stood a surety in a case where you are charged with that offense, let's say theft, and you disappear, I don't take on the responsibility. It's individualistic. So, if the suspect in this case was Sheikh Kirevu, the person to be arrested would be Sheikh Kirevu, subjected to the due process of the law. But now, indulging the wife, okay, let me pick it from the first angle, the angle of police, or the angle of investigation. You know, for a fact, police may round up nearly half of the village when there's a murder that took place. Everyone can be a suspect at that junction. And by elimination method, different people will be let to go back home. And some people will remain in police custody. They may even be subject to what is called an identification parade. So, as to who is a suspect, anyone can be a suspect, right? But let's look at this specific situation. It was bad enough in itself to kill the Sheikh, but it was extremely saddening, disturbing, that the wife and the children were subjected in a very gross manner to this diabolical act by again subjecting them to nearly go through the same. I am told the children saw their dad being shot at. This reminds me, by the way, this is where I summon the Uganda Human Rights Commission. I still believe that this entity is not doing us good insofar as the aspect, the degree, and the magnitude of abuse of rights stands. But the question is simple. What should it do?
Right?
Is the Uganda Human Rights Commission capacitated in terms of bravado to speak against this?
And why not?
On book, in the Constitution, the Human Rights Act, they ought to. But in reality, you know, we have so many entities in this country whose voices are so loud in their silence to account for a dead set of instincts. Because the Uganda Human Rights Commission has capacity to initiate an investigation by itself on a matter of human rights abuse. It's not the first time, like you said in the start, that people have been killed just like that. Because of their being arrested, they are killed. But we've never had the Uganda Human Rights Commission coming out to ably make a statement. Not only a statement, but to take an action. No, we've not had. So sometimes when we sit and make complex towards these things, we may seem to be singing the same lullaby to the already dead and asleep state of affairs. But again, we can't just sleep back and keep quiet. We can't. Because for so long as this ship, this boat keeps sinking, time is going to come, like Titanic, when the entire vessel is in water.
Yes. Do you mind if you let our viewers know who commissions the commissioners on that, on the Human Rights Commission? Should we say it's the reason they are not acting the way they are supposed to?
In the next address, I'll give you an in-depth analysis of that.
Right.
I don't want to walk into it now.
All right.
Permit me in the next address.
Right.
I'll give you a detailed
Yes. So
briefing on that.
On that issue of human rights, we've seen who are this, what kind of suspects that are supposed to be given their rights fully, because we've seen a number of suspects that are denied their human rights. For example, seeing their relatives, maybe getting the right medication, seeing their personal medical doctors, but others are getting their rights. Others are denied their human rights.
Every suspect ought to have their rights. If, for instance, all of us are equal before the law. I'll be lying to you that there is a law which says, to see if someone is charged of theft of a bicycle, that person can see their lawyer, can meet their doctor. But if you are suspected to have stolen a car, you are denied. No. All suspects are equal before the law. They all have the same rights. The right to know what they are being charged of, why they are arrested, the right to a lawyer, medical person, next of kin, among others. All people. But it's because of the degree of impunity that has grown time immemorial that we begin to see these distinctions being put in play. Sometimes you wonder, someone is charged of forgery, it's a certificate of title, but the case is handled by SIU, Special Investigations Unit. And then you wonder, and the person is detained in the SIU for 2 weeks. Why? For forging a document that occasioned that person to appear in a certificate of title as a legal proprietor. 2 weeks there at SIU check. And no person is allowed to see them. I see. What's going on? So the degree of impunity, the degree of in-depth death that has occurred to institutions is what has led to whatever you are seeing. To the extent of saying that which suspect is allowed to have a medical doctor, is allowed to have a next of kin, is allowed to be taken to court within 48 hours. No, all of us are equal before the law, and all people must have their rights taken cognizance of, even when they are at the trial. There are rights of an accused person, there are rights of a suspect. They are there. But these are so many of the challenges, intended challenges, deliberate challenges that our country is facing.
Yes, that is Counsel Denis Nyombi. He has been giving us his lawyer's perspective. Yes, how he is seeing things as far as the law is concerned. Thank you for watching Chagwe TV. Yes, we ask you to subscribe, comment, and share these videos. Thank you very much for watching.